So let's look now at 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verses 32 through 35. And he says, "But I would have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried cares for the things that belong to the Lord, how he may please the Lord. But he that is married cares for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife." So the principle here is that a person cannot give undivided attention because their spouse must be cared for. He's saying that this person that is married has to care for the things that are of the world. So you cannot just totally block out the fact that I owe something and I have to provide something.
And there, that please means to excite, to stir to excitement. Can you imagine God saying, you know what, I realize as a married person, unlike the single person, you're going to be distracted because really we're coming before God. He sees one. And we can't behave before him as though we are two, right? There's a lot to that you can't unpack right now. But if you kind of get the feel of where we're going with that. The fact is, I need to be seeking, how can I please this man? But in a lot of troubled marriages, the spouses are, you ought to be pleasing me. You're not doing this. You're not doing this right. I need this from you. I need that from you. You know what? We can't control the spouse. We can offer those things as a sacrifice before the Lord if our spouse is not willingly blessing us with those things. But the fact is, regardless of what our spouse does, I have an obligation before my God to please this man, whether he chooses to please me or not. And we see a lot of couples that I'm not going to make a change unless she makes a change, and vice versa. It's like, wow, you're not giving us anything to work with here. We have to be willing to sow seeds to reap our own harvest. I shouldn't be letting somebody else decide what my harvest is going to be. I'm going to sow seeds, and the source is not my spouse. The source is God. And that's where my seed comes from. And so the thing is, we want to look at what is my harvest? Is it what I want it to be? Or am I reaping based on somebody else's decisions?
That's good. Let's keep reading. In verse 34, he says, "There is a difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman cares for the things of the Lord, that she may be holy both in body and in spirit. But she that is married cares for the things of the world, how she may please her husband." So look at this. God is saying, you cannot give complete, undivided attention to me, to God, if you're married. He's saying the single person can. They can give undivided attention in their service to God. But he's saying a married person, and this is God saying, if God is saying, you cannot give so much attention to me that you are not paying attention to meeting the need of your spouse. Man, that's powerful.
It is.
Yeah. He keeps on saying in verse 35, "And this I speak for your own profit, not that I may cast a snare upon you, but for that which is comely, that you may attend unto the Lord without distraction."
So basically, we would say to you, to what extent do you pay attention to, how can I please my spouse? Do you wake up in the morning and say, God, I see your word that there's some worldly things I need to pay attention to and cannot before you be negligent of? And I answer to you for. And out of obedience to God, do you wake up in the morning and think, how can I please my spouse today? Am I observing my spouse to know what is needed to please my spouse? Or do I just assume based on me? Well, this is what I would like if I was my spouse. Or do I ask questions? What would be pleasing to you? What would you like? This doesn't make doormats out of us, because we both have a contribution to the marriage. And if we're holding back our contribution, that's not a we, is it? And like I said earlier, we need to be concerned if the relationship bends a little bit more, too much to the he or too much to the she. We should be evaluating how we are we? Do we have a we mentality going on here?